Hey, what is up everybody, Blades for here, and today for you guys another video of Persona 5X. Today's video, guys, I'm gonna be telling you guys about a free-to-play team that can quite literally get you through all the hard content in this game pretty much really easily. Now, by hard content here, we're mainly going to be talking about at least the stories and their bosses, seeing that of course a lot of you guys on global and people who are consistently joining for TW and KR, a lot of you dudes want to know exactly a really good team to invest in and know something to at least save your currency a lot and be able to pull from characters you really do want. So of course, I'm here to help you guys out with this here, pretty much showing you a team that I used throughout my entire playthrough on like 3-4 alts. So if you guys are interested in this, we should sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I want to say, I'm astonished by the amount of absolute support that we've had recently. I think through the past maybe 4 days or so, we've nearly jumped for a whole nother K of subscribers, which is insane. I think before global got announced, we were at like 4.4, 4.5, and we're now at 5.8. Y'all don't understand how thankful I am for this. Thank you guys so much for actually enjoying the content that I do produce. I'm gonna continue doing so as much as possible. I am working on a few more guides to at least have those out, including the build guides for each character. So look forward to that as well. It's just gonna take me some time. I'm trying not to burn out on you guys. So like I'm doing at least 1 video to 2 videos a day instead of like 2 to 3. So be a little bit mindful on that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So as I did say, there is one team that I can wholeheartedly vouch for that has made my life on this game absolutely easy, right? This team has carried me on 4 different accounts all the time. I think the only account that I did not use this team on was my main account, aka this one here, because my main account, I more or less went for Joker dupes and stuff like that. This is a team that you can use as a free-to-play, get majority, if not the entire team, day 1 of your free-to-play experience. So let's go ahead and check out the team, or at least check out the characters needed for the said team. So one of the first things that we're going to go ahead and look at is our characters in our box here, and our first character that we're going to look at is An. Now I get it, some of you guys might not like An. I feel for you guys. Some of you guys may love her. Listen, I'm part of the group that don't really vibe with An, and that's just personality wise. She has a decent story, of course. I played the base games, so I do know about her story. I know everything about her, but she's not a character that I really resonate 24/7 with. Hence the reason I don't like the character too much. But I'll tell you, push your not liking aside, okay? Push all your hatred and stuff like that, whatever you got for this character aside, because when I say this is the woman that you need for this team, you can get her day 1. It is so worth it. This character will carry you all the way. If I'm being honest, on my newest account, which I made at least during anniversary time, I went from Palace 1, right, all the way to Palace 4, which was the newest palace that dropped on anniversary time. No, you don't get any buffs at anniversary, like, oh, these units all do more damage during the anniversary time. No, you don't get any of this. This is with this character that just is insanely strong in general, right? So let's break down to what she can actually do with this character here. Now, this character does go off of concentration stacks, which is a certain buff that she does have here, which allows her to deal way more damage once she has a certain amount of it. These concentration stacks are really going to be affecting this skill here, which is called Flame Erosion, and that does a ton of damage, seeing as you can see 30% extra skill damage if you do have the concentration stacks fully upped here, right? And it has a chance to burn. Now, one of the strongest things in this game, especially when I can say like early game all the way to end game, kind of before you start getting to like ranking and stuff, really to cheap out a lot of the story, is burn, right? Fire, burn stacks, I would like to say DOT to some extent. Like you have Mesa, bleeds are really powerful, because in Palace 2, where you have to face Shikioji, bleeds actually can counteract their whole nullifying properties here. You can sit there and bleed them, seeing it counts as almighty damage, and that just does constant damage. So really, certain DOT effects like fire and bleed really are hecka nice to have, right? Well, the thing about this character is, early game, you're gonna have a 50 pity banner. That 50 pity banner you want to go ahead and do. The reasoning for this is because at the end of that set banner, you can choose a 5-star out of Morgana, Skull, and on herself. Those 3 5-stars are standard 5-stars. They're very easy to get, very quick to get. And with that in mind, you want to pick On, because On is just the worker of all evil, and she will absolutely destroy everything inside this game. Whether it's mementos, story, if you want to do a little bit of Velvet Trials that's meant for the fire characters, she can do that with her freaking eyes blindfolded. Every last one of those things she can knock out pretty darn easily, and it's really easy to invest in this character. Even within, let's say you lose a 50-50 and you get an On dupe, hey, that's even better for you, because at the end of the day, this character, even now at A6, which a bunch of you guys might have, go ahead and just invest into this character, seeing that you're going to be getting her from, let's see, I think there is a booklet, which I don't have it at the top here, but there's usually an icon up here that is a booklet that by completing said different achievements, you will end up getting a dupe of her again, and then get her weapon, right? Well, if you consist on doing that as well, which gives you 1 dupe on, so A1, then of course you possibly are going to lose a couple, or either you can decide to pick On again later down the line, A2, A3, you guys will see. This character is a standard 5-star that you will get a ton of and actually be able to do as much damage as possible with it, right? So with the least logistics out the way, she's the first DPS that you want to really invest in, and she will make herself known that she does a ton of damage. Her weapon's also really helpful, which you will get this, by the way, for free as well. So once you get this out, you're actually able to boost the fire damage based on the actual concentration that you do have once you do get into that concentration state, and inflict more burn, dealing even more damage for the enemy at hand. So a lot of stuff you can kind of cheap out based on the burns that you have, and it's very much so worth it, because even now at A6, if you go ahead and have her later on and you've been playing like a year like I have, at that point in time, a certain character is going to come out named Anj. She directly buffs this character right here and allows you to use her strongest move multiple times, in which is her biggest move to really just destroy anything in path, right? So I would say, if you wanted to get past some things, the first part of this team, be sure to get Anj. She is a free unit. Get On. She is a free unit. Be sure to invest. Now, the second character that's going to be part of her team, seeing it is a fire-based team here, is another character I do enjoy quite a lot here, and which is pretty decent to go ahead and invest in. Now, this character I didn't invest in on this account too much, but even on my other accounts, he's pretty meh invested here, and that's going to be the man, at least Ki, or Kiyoshi here. Now, Kiyoshi is one of the few characters that I have to say, without a doubt, he's more of a beginner debuffer, right? You're not going to use him late game. He has no place in late game, right? But for Palace 1 through 4, this is your guy. You directly do need, of course, a fire unit, or at least need some fire related characters for some of the mini bosses in Palace 4. So utilizing this character and actually building him up wouldn't be too bad. As you can see, even now, I want to say even on my other accounts, I only have the 4-star weapon, if anything the 3-star weapon, and it will still help you get through all of the story content and majority of the Velvet Room trials. You don't have to invest into this guy too much, and it's only just because he's able to do a lot for very little investment, being at least his debuffs. So let's go ahead and actually talk about this as well. Kiyoshi is one of the few debuffers that I have to say early game is insanely worth it if you really want to underlevel clear. Now, this is taking into account that he is part of this fire-based team, and really all you have to do is just sit back, relax, debuff the enemy, and then watch the damage roll on in. Starting at A0, really, he's just going to be helping out with at least the fire stacks, or at least stacks that he has that are called Martyr, and this will increase fire damage dealt. So he kind of buffs his at least allies in general, getting up the fire damage that he does have, while also allowing you to debuff the enemy as well. See that his whole role as a debuffer, and that's really going to come into play when you need to at least deal more damage by, of course, making them have the said burn and they take a lot of DOT damage, or even just inflicting said burns to then help out your fire damage. If he does apply this as well, he's gonna help out in this aspect. It is all going to be based off his max HP, so hey, the longer you can make this guy live, the better your damage is gonna end up being. This is gonna be the character that you guys want to run for the fire team, and I can definitely say pairing him with On is gonna be so freaking helpful. But you guys got to take the time and do so, and this is really going to be fairly helpful on that standpoint as well. But What if I don't want to use him? That's perfectly fine. You don't have to use this character. There are other characters you possibly can use. I just don't know if they're going to be available. A different character that will possibly be available at the beginning, depending on how things go, is Vino. So if you do want to go ahead and replace Key out with Vino, you very well can, because Vino can just do elemental elements in general. But as just for a little bit of a free-to-play team, I would definitely suggest invest into the fire team, seeing that you will need it in the long run anyways for Palace 4. So getting Kiyoshi up is going to be amazing. Now, going to our third member. Now, our third member is someone who's actually a little bit early in, but in the case that you guys don't have the 5-star character as another debuffer here, being Howler, or have anything of that nature, you could very well use Cattle, or Lefel is what I think his English name is, Lefel if I'm right, but I'm always used to calling him Cattle or Referu. So either way, any of those aliases you guys know him by, that's his name. But anyways, going on with this one, I recommend using our man Referu here, mainly because he is a good healer. With this team, the main thing that you're going to end up dealing with is definitely deaths, right? Those are going to be a lot of problems. So either you could use Mr. Lefel or Referu here and try and at least get more of that fire affinity, or when the character does drop, in which if you have that actual example of getting this said 5-star, who's also a standard character, you could very well just use Marion. Now, Marion's another character that I used on my main account, or at least my alt accounts here as well, in which at A0 she does more than enough for heals here. But if you really want to be budget and just use the fire team that can get you all the way to in-game, using Cattle himself wouldn't be a bad option. Pretty much a lot of the base 4-stars can beat all the bosses up to at least I think Palace 3. So you really shouldn't have a problem with doing any of this if you really just wanted to utilize a team. The fire team is definitely going to be your best one. Not to mention, of course, utilizing this team, you actually cover all the bases that you need. And what I mean by that, let's go ahead and put it all together inside of the actual team comp area so you can see exactly how I'm talking about. So, for example, you got yourself Wonder. You don't need anything too crazy on them. You're not going to have the best personas, so that's not going to be at least any aspects. You'll have yourself an A0 on with her weapon, of course, later down the line. You end up having yourself, what's it called? Cattle. And then you'll end up having yourself Yoshi. With this in mind, you're actually covering one of the basic type team formations that you will need. A DPS. This one's going to be either sub DPS or either a buffer or supporter, so you have a supporter there. You will then end up having another supporter or a healer in the team, being Cattle, a debuffer being Key, and then for the navies, let's just say that of course you have the basic navies that's out in the game, right? We're not going to have any of these extras. We're only going to have our 2 4-stars being Okyan and Puppet. If you really need that sustainability, you could use at least Puppet, but I would advise you guys to quickly use Okyan. Okyan carried me even with this team at early game, so I would definitely say if you wanted to get through Palace 1 through Palace 4, this might be the best team to go ahead and invest in for very less amounts. You don't have to spend any gems to do so. You don't have to do anything crazy. The characters don't even need their 5-stars. They can have 4-stars or 3-star weapons and still truck through majority of the content, and it's probably going to be the team that I'm going to use on day 1 of Global as well. So this is going to be the team that a lot of you guys should probably be running as a free-to-play if you truly want to be done with any of the content up from Palace 1 all the way to top of 3, if not at 4. So with that in mind, you guys, tell me down below how y'all feel about this team. Do you have any ideas of other teams that could be useful? So for my people who probably played this game, of course, already, are there any other teams that you used as a free-to-play or that you used early game in order to get up to Palace 3 or 4? Or is this one that you would highly recommend? I really want to know what you guys want to hear on that one. So until next time, everybody, peace out.